I'm Erin with Body of Light Studio. Thank you for joining today. My friend Alex requested a video for nursing mothers. Anybody with small children, new babies, or even a desk job, lots of time on the computer or phone for that matter, knows what a toll all of that time looking downwards, rounding, flexing the spine can take on your neck and shoulders. So for our workout today, we are going to use 2 balls. These can be apples, oranges, golf balls, tennis balls, something not weighted, pretty lightweight, about the same size, something you can easily hold in the palm of your hand. We're going to use a theraband. I like a red, a blue is a little bit heavier, yellow would be a little bit lighter, a yoga block, a blanket, and a pillow. It's always nice. So before we begin, let's take a look at the anatomy of our shoulder girdle. Today we'll talk about the pec minor. So we'll take a look at our mini skeleton to get a sense of our shoulder girdle. Here's the clavicles. He's not super realistic. The clavicles sit a little lower than that, but I like him because his giant scapula, his are huge compared to his body. You can get a really good sense of the coracoid process, the crow's beak, that part of the scapula that pokes forward around the sides of the rib cage. And we'll talk about the coracoid process today because of the pec minor. So the pec minor is underneath the pec major. It attaches to the 3rd, 4th, and 5th ribs. Moving from the coracoid process, this would be the right shoulder blade that you're looking at on the right side of the body, down to the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rib. And the important thing about this muscle is that we often take our coracoid processes down and in, and we get this, rounded shoulder effect, which causes tension in our neck and strains the back. But we could just as easily, with mindfulness, lift our 3rd, 4th, and 5th ribs up to the coracoid processes to keep our shoulder girdle open and our scapula on our back. So our back muscles are supporting the shoulder girdle rather than the neck and the chest. So let's go sit down and take a look at the anatomy of our bodies on our own. And here you see the pec minor taped on the full-size skeleton. So coracoid process and ribs 3, 4, 5. Take a comfortable seat. I'm sitting in Virasana, kneeling with a block and a blanket to support me. I like a little extra height rather than just sitting on the block or on the ground. You can sit in a chair or cross-legged. Let's have our hip sockets higher than our knees so that the femurs can slope downward and the hips can release. Take your pointer finger, middle finger, touch your collarbone, the clavicle, above and below. So identify where the clavicle fits into the sternum. And then slide down until you can hook just barely underneath. So clavicle's here, 2nd rib is here, 3rd rib is here. And then if you slide your fingertips outward, you'll be able to feel this tender spot. That's your pec minor that we just took a look at in the anatomy book, Anatomy of Movement, and also on our skeleton. Grab a hold of your theraband. If you don't have a band, you can use a strap or a really long towel. And let's do some work for our shoulders. You'll inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, the arms back down behind you. Inhale, the arms go up. Exhale, the arms come down. Keep going like that. Try to hold the band between your thumb and your pointer finger like little pinchers, so that as you reach out through your arms, you can also reach out through your fingertips. Arms need to be straight. If you're having trouble getting the band over your head, then either pull apart. If you're on a stretchy band, you can pull the hands wider apart from one another. If you're using a yoga strap or a towel, hold wider on the strap or the towel. We'll keep going like this. Arms go up as you inhale. Check in with your shoulders. Make sure they're gliding down as the arms go up. Shoulder blades down the back as the arms go up. This next time that you bring your arms up and back, identify your tightest spot where you get the most stretch. For me, it's right about here. On you, it might be just a little bit lower or higher. We'll come back to that spot. Inhaling the arms up. Exhale the arms down, reach out through your fingertips. Arms come up as you inhale, and now you're gonna stop in that extra tight spot where you get the deepest stretch. Widen your scapula, reach out through all of your fingers, and can you lift your third, fourth, and fifth ribs wide and up so that the coracoid processes are moving forward and out rather than down and in. We'll stay here for just a couple more breaths. You can start to bring your arms a little farther back behind you. Reach out through your fingertips. Lift the front of your spine so you're not pressing the kidneys forward or overextending in your lumbar spine. Take one more inhale. Shoulders go down the back. Crown of the head beams up. You can bring your hands down behind you and set your strap down. All right, let's get rid of our pillow or blanket and block, and we're gonna lie down on the belly, so lie prone. If this is not comfortable for you, you can put your pillow or your blanket underneath your chest. And yeah, I think you'll be able to see me here. All right, so you'll lie down with your forehead resting on the ground. Hold on to your two balls or your round objects and reach your arms back behind you with your palms face up. Lift your shoulders away from the ground, lift your hands up off the ground, and you're just gonna start to circle the shoulders. So the shoulders will round towards the ground, you're protracting, you're widening the scapula around the sides of the ribs, but don't let the hands touch down. Now shrug the shoulders up towards your ears, lift the shoulders to the ceiling. Now you're retracting the scapula, they're squeezing together towards the spine, and then draw the scapula down the back. You're gonna keep going in that direction. Shoulders move down to the ground, up towards your ears, up to the ceiling, down towards your pelvis. Continue to circle the shoulders without letting the hands touch down. Finish the circle you're on and go the other way. The shoulders go up to the ears, down to the floor, down to the pelvis, up to the ceiling, up to the ears, down to the floor, down to the pelvis, up to the ceiling. Do 3 more circles in that direction. Hands do not touch the floor. You're squeezing your balls or whatever it is that you're holding in your hands. And then let your arms rest down. Shoulders can round towards the ground. Start to lengthen your tailbone down to the space between your heels. Press your pubic bone into the ground and draw the sides of the navel up into your spine, so you're engaging the core muscles. And then lift your shoulders away from the ground, lift your hands as high as you can up to the ceiling, and you'll bend your elbows, bringing your hands behind your back, one stacked on top of the other, but you're not touching your back. Lift your shoulders away from the ground. Now keep your shoulders lifting away from the ground. Find that opening and lifting of the pec minor. So from 5th, 4th, 3rd rib, you're widening up and out to the coracoid process, and reach your arms straight out into like a V shape behind you. Hands are wide apart, but how high can you lift your arms up to the ceiling? Keep your humeral heads, your shoulders moving away from the ground as you bend your elbows, so the hands again come behind your back. Don't touch your back. Keep the hands lifted away, don't touch your body. And then reach your arms higher as you straighten the arms. The hands will widen away from one another. Let's do 3 more like that. Inhale to bend. You can alternate which hand is on top as you bend. Shoulders away from the ground. Exhale and lengthen. Bend the elbows. Inhale. Keep the coracoid processes wide. And stretch your elbows. Try to keep your head heavy into the ground. One more time, bend the elbows, tail is long, pubis is pressing, and straighten the arms. Rest your arms down. Okay, we're gonna do another variation of that. This time, you're gonna bring your hands, let's get rid of the balls for this one, and you're gonna bring your hands to rest behind your head. Now lift your hands are stacked one on top of the other, just like they were a moment ago. Now lift your elbows away from the ground. Lift your hands off of your head, let your head be heavy, press your pubis down, and then you'll reach your arms straight, a wide V shape above the head, and bend your elbows, don't touch your head. No straining in the neck.
Pubis presses the ground, reach the arms straight, draw your shoulder blades down your back, take an inhale. Exhale to bend the elbows, hover the hands above your head. Inhale to reach the arms, externally rotate so the biceps are turning up to the ceiling, the triceps are turning to the ground, shoulder blades are down the back. Bend your elbows, hover the hands above the back of the head. Let's do 2 more. Inhale to reach, pubis pressing, navel lifting. Exhale to bend. Inhale to reach, and exhale to bend. And then hands to your head, elbows to the ground, and rest. Place your hands on the ground underneath your shoulders. Lift your shoulders and press yourself up onto your hands and your knees. I'm gonna get rid of the blanket. All right, for this one, you're gonna come down onto your forearms, and you wanna have your forearms pretty close together. So I'll scooch back so you can see my hands. So the hands are on the ground, the elbows are on the ground, pretty close together. And you're gonna scooch your knees back and move your shoulders back as far as you can go with no pinching. If you start to feel pinching in your shoulders, you've gone too far. You need to bring your shoulders just a little bit more forward. We're gonna stay here for about 10 breaths. You can let your head rest down on your arms if that feels comfortable. Knees can be as wide as your shoulders, big toes together. Support the low spine by drawing the navel in towards the spine as you exhale. Keep the sitting bones wide open. You're not tucking the tail, you're gliding the pubic bone back, keeping your pelvic outlet open. Let's do about 3 more breaths here. Maybe you can lower your shoulders a little bit more back and down. But again, if you feel pinching, you've gone too far. This should not hurt. This should be a stretch for your shoulders. Breathing wide into your rib cage. From here, bring your shoulders just a little bit forward, prayer your hands, so now the palms are together. Again, rest your head, and you're gonna bend your elbows so that the prayer comes towards the back of your head. Push your elbows strongly down into the ground, and then exhale to lengthen the hands, the arms down. Bend the elbows, inhale. Exhale to lengthen the arms, navel draws in, maybe the shoulders slide back a little farther. Push the elbows strongly into the ground. Press your hands firmly into one another. Inhale as you bend. Exhale to lengthen. Let's do that 2 more times. Bending the elbows, push them into the ground, press your hands together. Exhale, navel in as you lengthen the arms. Inhale to bend, elbows are pressing, hands are pressing, and exhale to lengthen. And then you can separate your hands and sit back into a child's pose. Rest your head on the ground, on your hands, or on a block. Take a rounded breath here. Slide your hands under your shoulders, tip your tail down, roll up to sit 1 vertebra at a time until your spine is stacked. And let's again sit comfortably, either in Virasana, cross-legged, or on a chair. This exercise can also be done standing. It's kind of nice sometimes to do it in front of a mirror so you can really see, are you rounding the shoulders forward or are you open and lifted? So for the rotator cuff exercise, muscles that surround the shoulder girdle and help to rotate the arms, we'll take your theraband, elbows in by your sides, clavicles widening out to the acromion processes. We didn't talk about those today, but we have in other videos, really wide across the clavicles. Coracoid processes are going forward and out. Front of the spine is lifted. You'll hold the theraband with your palms face up, open the arms wide, and then bring the hands back in. You'll inhale, exhale, the arms open. Now, as you do this, you want to keep your elbows still.
So the elbows are not moving forward or back, they're staying in place. The movement is really only the humerus, the upper arm bone. You're not squeezing the shoulder blades together. As you do this, you're keeping your scapula really still. You'll inhale as the hands come back to neutral or parallel, forearms to one another, and then you exhale as you widen the arms. And you want to keep your forearms about parallel to the floor, so they're horizontal. Do like 8 to 10 of those. Shoulder blades widening, clavicles widening, scapula going down and wide as the arms open, and then they stay down and wide as the hands come back in. Let's do 3 and 2 and 1. And for this last exercise that we will do with our theraband, you're going to take it, wrap it around your waist. So from the front, you wrap it around, you cross it in the back, and then you hold on to the ends in front of you. You'll take an inhale, and on your exhale, reach your arms forward and up. In Pilates, this one's called serving a tray. So as the arms reach forward, they're going up to about shoulder height, maybe just a little bit higher, and then you bend the elbows in again. Inhale to reach the arms up, shoulder blades go down, keep the coracoid processes moving forward and out, pec minors lifting that 5th, 4th, and 3rd rib up to the coracoid process. Inhale to reach up and out, and exhale the elbows in. Let's do 4 more. Keep your gaze level, stay soft through the front of your throat. And as you do this, you can imagine the skin of the back of your neck moving backwards, almost like, where a mama kitten would pick up her baby kitten, and that really nice loose skin at the back of the neck stays soft and back, like you've got your mama kitten picking you up from the back of the neck. Last one here. All right, we'll set the theraband down, rest your hands in your lap, and let your head release to one side, left ear to left shoulder. Turn your chin towards your left shoulder. Start to circle your chin down to your chest. Chin sweeps across the collarbone to the right shoulder. And then you drop your ear to the right shoulder and lift your head up. Let's go the other way. Ear to the right shoulder. Twist the chin to the right shoulder. Start to roll the chin to the chest, moving through center. You can pause anywhere that feels like you need an extra stretch. Slide your chin across to the left shoulder, so now you're twisting in the neck. And now you'll side bend ear to the left shoulder and head to center. And we're finished. Thank you for joining today. Hopefully you feel a little bit more open and lifted through your chest. Have a great day.